Are you two lesbians?
Here comes the bill.
What are you supposed to be? Some kind of knight in shining armor? Or a cowboy? And nobody cares.
Spots me where that came from, Tex. I thought you were good in your underwear. You should see what I can do naked.
Let's go. Did you even try?
Hello, Earpers. All right, let's get to it. Do you guys want to see who's back there? Well, please welcome to the stage Emily Andras, Rachel Skarsten, and Charlotte Sullivan. I promise they're back there. They are definitely back there. I just saw them. Hey, guys. There they go.
Yes. We definitely weren't gossiping backstage. Sorry about that.
We were talking this, I was like, you need to go.
You were on the stage now. This is you. Yeah. Hi. Oh,
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Thank you guys for being here.
Thanks for having us.
So, Rachel, this is your first Earper panel.
How do you think it's going so far?
Yeah.
No,
It's going really, really well. I mean, I feel like the cons, their reputation precedes them, of just being wonderful, and I've heard it from numerous people, but it did not disappoint thus far.
Awesome. Were you given any advice as like a heads up for the shit show that you're going to be walking into?
I mean, I was on Lost Girl, so I think like I was
Never
prepared.
mind. Never mind.
You're like, bring it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're here to talk about guest stars. I know the panel is called Making News, They Got Juice. And then there was some confusion backstage as to what we would be talking about. But these are two dynamic guest stars. They were, two dynamic guest stars on the show that left a huge impression. So
First of all, I don't know what to do with my hand.
We're going.
I'm like, do I do
this?
like serious?
You wanna do like this? This
We're
is-
going with that.
I was a
Just
model.
rotate
You wanna
through.
do like this?
Sorry, continue. I'm just
Like a
stuck
jazz hand.
on- Yeah, I'm just feeling awkward, but continue.
Also, you're so far down that one. I'm like, hello, Charlotte.
Yes, it's true. I will.
Come
I'm
this
gonna
way.
shimmy.
Come closer.
There we go.
It's going
Sorry,
great. You're doing
I
amazing.
interrupted you.
All right.
You're completely in
We've known each
control.
other since we were teenagers, by the way. I don't know if people know that. Yeah. I did.
So, the job of a guest star.
doesn't care.
A guest star. No, I'm talking about.
No.
You guys don't need me. I'm gonna watch.
Cool story, Rachel. Moving on.
I'm gonna get through this really quick. So the job of a guest star is to mix things up. They might only be around for an episode or two, but their impact can be felt long after they're gone. And would you agree, Emily, that a guest star's job is to kind of temporarily disrupt the normal lives of our main characters?
Yes, 100%. And if you do it right, you bring in performers who are also just bring a new energy to the set, and it just like makes everyone spark. Yeah.
And so I think you would probably agree that these
Yes,
two people
probably.
did that job
These
very well.
Batshit broads. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So,
As asked for. Yes, they delivered. Yeah.
so let's start with Eliza,
Okay.
Rachel.
Okay.
So when Eliza shows up, it's the beginning of season 2. We've just come back from this incredible, awesome season 1 finale, which is probably, I think, one of the best season finales of any show ever.
Thanks.
So, first of all, Emily, when you're coming back, you're going to a season 2. You've come from this incredible season 1. How important is it to kind of establish what that season's going to be, and how did Eliza kind of fit into that formula?
Yeah, when you're lucky enough to get season 2, you're like, we totally know what we're doing. We can start kind of playing with the formula. The good news is nobody's pregnant, so we're just gonna like do it. Yeah, like I think hopefully in season 1, if you do it right, everyone has fallen in love with the characters and the world. So it's the perfect time to kind of bring in new energy and also challenge the existing characters into who they think they are and what they're capable of. And like, I just love the idea so much of Wynona's finally by the end of season 1 coming into her own as kind of this Earp heir, and she feels confident. And then she meets this like even more sexy, beautiful, awesome, kick-ass heroine who doesn't even seem to need pants, which is amazing.
In her underwear.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm sure you all want to talk about casting when I'm like, wow, who could possibly go up against Mel Scrofano? I'm like, Skarsten. Like, you just are like, I know the perfect person to cast for this.
So did Rachel immediately come to mind?
Oh, immediately, immediately. I have been such a huge Rachel fan for so long, both personally and professionally. She's such a fucking hoot, if I may say. Both of you are like the most beautiful women in the world, are such a fucking hoot.
Are you
I say fucking
recording
hoot because
this?
I'm from the
I want this
1950s, by the way.
Because I need this for...
Like save some,
Yeah.
like save some for the rest of us.
Oh my God, shut the fuck
Like pick
up,
a lane.
okay?
Pick a fucking lane. Like be the hottest thing you've ever seen.
You're like, shut up. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. You're like, let her talk. Let her talk.
I'm like, shush.
Yeah, let's hear her out. Let's hear her out. Like,
Continue.
Like you can't be a supermodel and the best juggler I've ever met. I don't know if you guys can juggle. There's no juggling
Yeah, I was
component.
like, can you
Okay,
juggle?
wait, I'm getting distracted. This is going great, Kat. You're doing amazing. What was the question? Oh, Rachel.
Right. About
No,
our
I got
beauty.
this. So I've been such a huge Rachel fan forever, truly. And like, I will never forget, I was saying this to you the other day, you should have seen Rachel Skarsten's audition for Lost Girl. And that was another show where we had like a very sexy, capable #1. And we needed someone, you're kind of the come in and shake it up girl. Thanks. Yeah, you're welcome. And like, I just remember you walked in and put your hands on your hips and were like, yeah, what do you want? And I was like, all of this, whatever this is. And I will tell you this, not to put you on the spot at all, but very early, and not to make it weird, why not make it weird? Very early on when I was creating Wynonna Earp, I thought you would have been an amazing Wynonna. Like truly. But then you went to Hollywood and got super, I have said that before. I think I've said that publicly, so I'm not just making that up. But then you're like, I'm going to Hollywood to be super famous. And I'm like, okay, no, just kidding. Aww. So yeah, but also the thing about Rachel is, again, she's so down to earth and lovely. I'm gonna talk about how you smell bad in a second or something. It's fine. So I knew, like, I called her and called in a huge favor. Like, I was like, I need you to come to Calgary on December 27th and fight someone in your underpants.
Okay.
And you had just wrapped rain.
You didn't
You
say
had
the
wrapped
underpants
rain.
part.
I might have skipped the underpants. I might have said in your underpants. Yeah. But you had just wrapped rain. Mm-hmm. Like literally the wrap party I think was on Saturday. And I was like, I need you to fly to Calgary on Monday.
I think I was working on the Monday. I flew that day because I came in and we had the wardrobe fitting in the hotel room that night.
There wasn't a lot of wardrobe though. Yeah.
That's where I was like, oh, it's so nice. They brought me underwear. And then I was like, this is my whole costume. Fuck. And I remember it was so late, so I couldn't call you and be like, what the actual? But then I saw my stunt double, and she had such a sweet ass that I was like, excellent, everyone's gonna think this is my ass.
We got you.
Yeah, it comes full circle.
So long story short, yes, but people like this, when you have the privilege of working with people who you really love, you know this, you're in the business is hard. You meet a lot of people you don't love. So any chance you have to be like, oh my God, I get to see my friend, and they're gonna bring it on set, and they're gonna be a professional, it's just so joyful. And also, like, I do think, like, it was a totally different role than Tamsin. So I was like, it's just gonna be hopefully a challenge for you in a fun way.
Absolutely, but it kind of felt like a homecoming coming back to work with you, and I would have done. I mean, literally, I was in my underwear. I would do anything for you.
I will write something for you while in my underwear. I promise. Yeah.
It's okay. I just need pants the next time.
Okay. Wow, diva. Okay. What's next? A sweater? Okay, Meryl Streep. Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I think also it speaks highly to you because my other experience on Lost Girl, which you were at the helm of, for I think most of the time that I was there, it was so lovely. And then I came to Winona, and it had a very similar feeling on set. Of, you know, like I was there for one episode, and you see everyone. It's like I was on the show forever. Like it's so lovely, you know. And that's.
Thank you. But thank you for doing it. Thanks, guys. Yeah.
So Rachel, you touched on it. You have this incredible scene. We first meet Eliza. You're in your underwear. You're fighting Winona. Was that just like another day at the office? Was that intimidating as hell?
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, it's a bit weird to meet someone for the first time and be like, I'm in my underwear, you know.
Let's fight.
You're the lead of this show, but look at me in my underwear. And like have them take you seriously, and I was like, I'm Rachel Skarsten. But like I said, everyone was so welcoming, and Mel's like so down to earth and laid back. And I had known Tim from Lost Girl, and it's funny, when I first met Tim, it was on the set of that show, and I remember he was on this show, Instant Star in Canada. Yeah. And he was you'll remember this. Tim was like a heartthrob, you know what I'm saying? And
It's kind of cute.
totally. And so then I remember meeting him for the first time, and we were sitting in this like dungeon or something, and I was kind of like, whoa, Tim, like, whoa, hey. And he's like, yeah, I'm just thinking about my cats or something. He's like, launches into this like 20-minute conversation about his cats, and I was like, what is happening right now? You know. So instantly I knew, okay, I know Tim, like this will be cool. But everyone was just like super, super welcoming. Yeah. So yeah, my underwear, you know, just another day at the office. Check.
Yeah. Bucket list.
How many days were you on the show? How many shooting days did you have?
2, 3?
3, yeah, 2 or
Okay.
3, because there was the day in the studio, and then we had the day on location.
Yep.
Maybe there was one more day.
Yeah, maybe 2 days on location. I'm gonna say 3.
Yeah, well, 3,
that's a guess.
final answer.
Yeah. 3. Does she know? Does Kat know? Did we get it right? Yeah. What do we win? Yeah.
Emily, were there any other roles that you had thought about that would be great for Rachel before Eliza came along?
Really the big one, really Winona was the one, and then, but Rachel works a lot because she's exceptional, so really that was the one. I kind of wish though, like you were so good, I wish we kind of had shot you, sorry about that. Yeah, but you were like a lizard, you could have come back.
Too at the end, because I had such a fun time, and I was like, but I'm dead now, like I'm so dead.
We could have figured it out. We could have figured it out in
It's
season
sci-fi.
6. Yeah, and you were like some sort of lizard.
Yeah,
Good for you.
I actually heard that there's fan fiction where I live.
Oh, amazing, let's read that. Okay, good. Yeah.
So let's talk about Brigitte Hogback,
Woo!
also known as the Silk Witch. So we meet her in season 4, the finale. Incredible finale again. Of season 4. Emily, can you talk a little bit about, that episode is sort of, in my perspective, it's unique. It's kind of a combo, Monster of the Week / wrapping up some huge storylines, setting up some maybe new storylines. And it's an incredibly hard balance, and you absolutely nailed it.
Thank you.
When did you realize you had to make it that sort of combo episode, and how does, the character of the Silk Witch kind of work into that?
Right. That finale was both hard and easy. Stick with me. Like, we'd just gone through COVID. There were no more writers left. I wrote the last 2 episodes of season 4, which was so dumb because I was so busy. What was easy about the end of season 4 was like you kind of knew certain things had to happen. Like you knew there was going to be a wedding. You knew that one way or another, Doc and Winona had to come to some sort of understanding. I knew I wanted to bring it full circle with the Earp sisters. The hardest part was the monster of the week, the genre thing, right? I probably knew it was something to do with the wedding, and then the wedding dress kind of seemed a natural fun thing, and seeing Winona in the wedding dress was so funny. Like, so once that kind of happened, it all came together. But I'm gonna go skip right to a bunch of your questions. So my thing about wonderful Charlotte Sullivan is, like, now that I said nice things about you, you have been like my I don't want to say white whale in the best possible way. I have been trying to get Charlotte Sullivan on Winona Earp since 1987. I was like, do you want to play Waverly? Do you want to play Calamity Jane? Do you want to play a bar stool?
Can I just, to be fair, it's not like I was
Yes.
like, I'm so busy.
No, never.
I had, like, and I was talking to you about this, like, I had really bad postpartum depression.
I remember, honey,
And I was
yes.
like, I don't want to be on camera.
Which was a completely...
In your underwear.
Yes. We are good with the whole pregnancy thing on our show. So,
Yeah.
like, as
So
soon
that-
as you were
yeah.
nothing but
Okay.
ever lovely about it.
Okay.
No,
I
not
don't-
once, not
Just
once.
wanted, because I had nothing going on. So.
Yeah, no. And that's completely fair.
Okay,
like,
cool.
yes, I have had 2 babies. I don't want to do anything for 4 years,
Okay.
and even now. No, but honestly, like, I had heard so many amazing things about you from Rookie Blue and my friend Noelle Carbone, right? And obviously saw it. And, like, honestly, yes, it's so funny to think that you guys were kind of like child actors. Like, so you've kind of been like icons in the Canadian scene forever.
I don't know about icons.
All right. Whatever.
We should take our show on the road, man.
I
I'm like, no, I have no confidence. You're like,
So for Charlotte, I'll just say, like, I also, like, may I say, your partner was involved with the show. Yep. Your husband had directed some episodes. He's an incredible director. So she was kind of like nearby. I was like, I know she might be in Calgary. Maybe I can like get her drunk and then make her sign a contract or whatever. But I think I thought of Charlotte for Willa. I thought that would have been amazing. Oh, I also knew, obviously, like, Mel was such a huge fan of yours.
Mel's the sweetest.
She is the sweetest. She's crazy, too. You're the same brand of crazy. Like, when they're together, it's just like 2 aliens being like, bleep, plop, bloop. And I'm like, I want to be friends. Willa, for sure. Jolene, as well. So I was just like, I really want Charlotte on the show. So, but things happen for a reason. It was such a gift that you said yes to the final episode, because also it made Mel so happy. Like, it was such a lovely gift at the end of the year that she got to play with her friend. And it's funny, I often say, like, in that scene, it's the only time I've left in a take where Mel breaks. Like, when you start singing, Mel is like...
Do you know how many times I was like,
and I'm
shut
like,
the fuck
I
up,
am
Melanie.
leaving this in,
Shit,
because
she's not
Winona's
breaking.
like, are we filming this? It's so good. So it was like a gift that you finally said yes. Not finally, that you said yes and came to play and just made this character, like,
You're so sweet.
so fun. But I also knew it would be a gift at the end. Something new when we'd all been together so long, for Mel in particular.
That's so
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
It was my first job during COVID.
Oh, yeah, that was
And
nuts.
that was such a weird, and then getting there and not being able to, like, can I hug?
Socialize? Yeah, that was hard.
Melanie, like, it was very, very strange. But, I mean, what a thing to
That's the other
choose.
thing. It had been such a hard kind of
Yeah,
last
it was
season that I was like, well, this is almost a nice thing, because all the cast couldn't really socialize in the last half of season 4. We really had to be so disciplined. Remember COVID? Just kidding. I know it's still going on, but like, yeah, we really were, and people were really like. You remember? We were the first show in North America to come
Is that true?
back.
I didn't know that.
So we came back in July of 2020.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
So we were like freaked out. Like, you forget, like, we didn't know how it was transmitted yet. Like, is it transmitted through jokes? Because we're fucked, like, or whatever. Like, we don't know. Like, so, and people were really disciplined about sticking to their condos. Like the cast was segregated from, like, the crew and everything. So thank you for doing that, though. Like, even to fly, I think, was such a big deal during COVID. But yeah.
It was such a lovely thing.
So you do, like, everybody works so hard on the show, and, you know, you need to give people some joy to keep their spirits up. So, yeah. So I was like, let's do Charlotte. Yeah, so thank you. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, please, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And you guys let me do that.
We did.
So I want
did.
to ask you about that.
Yeah. I know. I've been talking for 2 hours.
About some of your choices as Brigitte. So, she's on screen for less than 5 minutes, but I think she's one of the most memorable parts of the episode. I mean,
Yeah.
you're up against the Way Hot Wedding. It's a tough, it's
know,
a tough
well done.
competition, but there's this wonderfully quirky character that we meet. How much, and I feel like I'm setting you up for a big reaction here, but how much of the quirkiness was on the page versus how much you brought with you on the day? I know it's a dumb question.
How much?
That's you have to answer
No,
that.
it was like 7% on the page. It was like, bride, question marks, says these lines, question marks. I will never forget that. I have to stop talking, but Paolo, the director, I came to set and he was like, oh, this is, he loved it, but he was like, we're doing this. And I was like, this is amazing. Yeah. So
It's what I think I'm repeating
But
myself.
you were very
but
respectful. You asked a couple things ahead of time. I think you
Well,
said you wanted to have black
I
teeth.
wanted black teeth. And because there was this whole thing where they were kind of complimenting me on how cute I was. And I was
Yeah.
like, wouldn't it be so fucking funny? And I was like, thank you. Black- and you were like, no, then they're going to think you're a
Because
demon.
we've done it with the Revenant.
Yeah,
we've
you're
done
like,
it.
we have a
Yeah.
demon. They're going to think you're a demon. I was just like, fuck me. And so I was like,
Fuck me and my
well,
perfect teeth.
Well, I'm going to do that tomorrow and see what they say.
Yeah.
No, it's one of those things and I am repeating myself, but where you try something in rehearsal, and if they go, oh, you're not like really gonna do it like that, and then you go, no, I was just fucking around and totally gonna do it like that. Rehearsal, and then no one said anything, so I was like, okay, I'll keep doing that. So I don't know. I didn't know what.
That's Earp, though. That's Earp,
Yeah.
too. Like, people are like, yeah, do that. That's
But
amazing.
then I saw Zoe Palmer's episode, and I was like, oh, I didn't do that.
Good. We already had that.
She was like so good and so serious and so great, and I was like, oh, fuck. Like, so I had a little bit of coffee.
Well, Zoe Palmer ain't here, is she?
Oh, wow.
Kidding, I love Zoe.
Wow. Maybe she should have.
Gloves off.
Maybe she should have. Yeah, wow. That's on camera. No, but it's true. We already had that.
I know, but just like tone, and
Yeah.
maybe I was like, I didn't get the tone.
Yeah. You did. It was a very joyful episode.
Okay.
It was supposed to be joyful. Yeah.
And so was that the tone? Like that?
I think
you
so.
Yeah. She nailed the tone.
Oh, yeah, but brought, truly made something from whole cloth. Like, I don't even know what that, it's like Betty Boop, Marilyn Monroe.
God, I don't know about
kind of like a
Marilyn.
1920s flapper. I'm just
Like
yelling
Miss
things at you.
Havisham or
Miss
something?
Havisham.
Yeah.
But it was like, it was so good. There is amazing extra footage of the Silk Witch. I have
it?
I have it right No. That with your permission, you should watch it. And if you like it, we can show it. It's like in the internet on my laptop. But there's extra stuff that got cut. There was more,
Was it
remember
more
the stuff where
scenes?
they were like, you were like, there's a scene where she's like, I'm hideous. I'm like 36 years old. And Doc is like, have you heard of Kate Blanchett? It's so dumb. I don't know. Do you remember any? So there's even more of it.
know.
That's amazing. But you should watch it and vet it before
Okay,
we show
send it
it.
over. Send it over.
Yeah.
Send it.
Charlotte Sullivan Lab 2024. Yeah. It's really good. No, but you really did build something so unique and funny. But felt earned, felt like it could definitely be a character in this crazy world, and was great. So
Well, I keep saying that I want to do where I inhabit Tim Rozon's character, and he is mine.
oh yeah.
And then I get to have my way with, I get to be Doc Holliday.
Oh, there's gonna be a
And-
con where you guys do a
Do
panel
you
like
know what
that
I mean?
right now. Yeah.
And then I get to be hello.
Yeah. And then he has to
He
sing.
has to be
Oh
the
my God,
Silk
amazing.
Witch. That's my dream. So.
No, I'm here for that.
Yeah.
I stand that.
You gotta walk in your underwear and be like, what's going on? Yeah.
You've all seen it before.
Charlotte, have you watched the episode? Or
The
of
finale?
your episode, yeah.
I did, yeah.
And was that what, like, did it, I'm sure on the day, you have an idea of what your performance was. And then you see what, it goes through editing and it goes through the whole thing. Was it close to what you imagined it was on set?
Well, it's like, I don't know about maybe how
Do
you...
you watch yourself or do you not? Because some actors like do not want to watch themselves and some do.
I have a hard time with it. Usually it's just an ADR, like when you have to record your voice and you're like, no, I'm not gonna ever, no, thank you. We're not doing that. It's just a weird thing when you have to see like nobody should look at their face as much as we have to look at our stupid
Right.
faces. And you're just like grossed out by things. So I did, to answer your question, I watched it. I was more, I'm such a Melanie fan, so what she did with that episode is insane. Like, come on, like, it was so beautiful. And then all of a sudden, it's like me being fucking weird, and then I was like, oh, right, and then it would go back to her beautiful performance. So I was more just curious how that was going to pan out.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
Iconically, I think.
Yes,
I think
exactly.
you've made quite an impression on this fandom. Rachel, what about you? Have you seen? Are you one of the actors? You don't like?
I
Okay.
watched it. Yeah, no, for sure. It's funny though because I sometimes don't want to watch.
You don't, eh?
Yeah, and it's not because I watch it and I'm like, oh, I didn't like that, but because for me it lives in that moment that I did it, and and then I send it out, and that's what it is.
Does time ever make it easier for you? Like if you watched The Lost Girl now, would you be able to look at it?
Well, it's funny because we did the podcast,
Yes,
so
of
I
course.
did rewatch
Yes,
all
the
the
podcast, you guys
episodes. Yeah,
listened to-
now
oh,
it
it's
wasn't
so good.
me in those episodes yet, but it was really fun to rewatch it, and so yes, I think time does.
that's true.
There's also the element of like, when you're filming a scene, it's not just like, oh, we do this scene, it takes real time, 10 minutes, you're maybe doing it for 4 hours, so, and you're maybe freezing cold or like something else is going on, and so sometimes when I watch it back, I'm like, oh, I just remember like I really had to pee and that, you know what I mean? So it's hard to like get into it in the same way. But, oh, yes, right? Sometimes you gotta pee and you can't.
I hear you, buddy. Yeah.
But I did want to watch this episode, so I did.
So Emily, as a showrunner, when you invite a guest star onto your show, what is it that you kind of, in a very basic sense, need from them?
I mean, oh my God, that's such a good question.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah, don't be a dick is number one, to be honest, kind of. Like you are kind of like, but you also want to make sure they feel welcome. It's hard, right? Like there's sets I'm sure you guys have walked on where you're like, oh man, this is a viper pit and these actors hate each other and these writers are screaming and like, what am I don't know, maybe that's just me. Like sometimes you do walk on a set and you're like,
I'll just sit over here.
yeah, I'll just learn my lines again. So I do think you want to, it sounds stupid, but just shake up the main cast, you know what I mean? And again, I think it's really important to bring an energy you do not already have on the show. Like, this is a bit of a tangent, but when we cast Martina for Rachel Valdez, Valdez is a very, like, famous character in Bo's comic who's, like, kind of this, like, Amazonian, like, not Amazonian, like warrior, right? But I felt like we already had these amazing female warriors on the show. So that's why we cast something completely different, which was this kind of like teenage energy we didn't have on the show. So I do think you don't want to cast a million brunette dudes who all feel the same. You know what I mean? You want to shake it up. And I think with a cast as strong as Winona Earp, you do want someone who challenges them a little bit. Like, you guys are an excellent example. I would also say, because we just shit all over, Zoe was an excellent. No, I'm just kidding. No, but like Zoe will show up, and like I think Dom really appreciated that they got to like play against this energy where they really went for it, right? That's it. You just want them. And look, like there is a commitment on Earp where like it's so batshit, but everybody is just like really believes it, right? In the moment that you really have to like be in it and make it real and not think you're better than it. So you also want to bring people who frankly want to be there, which sounds simple, but you'd be surprised. So yeah.
And Charlotte, so when you're coming in to do a guest spot, and I'll ask you the same question, Rachel, how comfortable are you asking to make these big choices? Do you feel comfortable coming to the writer saying, hey, I'd like to do this? Is it hard as a guest star to do that?
Oh God, no. Oh no. Coming on to a guest, like, this is not normal.
Yeah.
Okay?
But we didn't know each other, so you were also
It's
like,
true.
I
So
don't
there's
know.
no, but you go on so many different shows where you're just like, it's kind of, it's first day of school. Am I allowed?
Yeah.
And my thing is I have to be able to be relaxed in order to do good work. And if I can't be relaxed, then it's going to show. And that, for me, the last few things I've done, I've been so not supported and safe that I felt like, oh God, I am actually a shit actress right now because I'm kind of in a shitty environment. Like, so if you're with people that allow or make you feel welcome, I've been on shows where it's the ego of the main person doesn't feel comfortable with you being there. And it's like, I don't understand that. And so that can be really frustrating, but coming on this one is it's not the norm.
Yeah,
it's like
agreed.
immediately warm, and everybody is so like, they're so
I know.
sweet. They're so sweet. But yeah, not normal.
Yeah, it's true. Like, to second what Charlotte said, I actually believe it starts from the top. So, showrunner, number one. Like, if you have a number one who is, like, self-confident, gracious, kind, hardworking, you're going to have a great show.
Yeah,
You're going to
they
have
set
a
the tone.
great environment. Everyone will fall into line. You can even have a jerk over here, and, like, they'll fall into line. And if you have a number one who's not those things, it filters down as well.
People
And
feel they can get away or push stuff.
100%, and it also just becomes a more unhappy, toxic environment. And so you had a great number one, you were a great leader, and therefore the
I
whole
had a great
experience
number
was
one on
wonderful.
Lost Girl though too, right?
Yeah.
So like I like kind of scared Mel because I was like, I've had the best
The
number
best
one
one. Yeah.
ever, so don't fuck this up. I was like, I'm getting fucking baked cookies from Anna at 6 a.m. I'm like, where are my cookies? No, I mean like, just so
So nice.
gracious,
I remember
such a pro.
At the beginning, like thinking like, she
What's her damage?
must be a serial killer.
Yes,
because
I
like
know.
no one is
that
naturally
nice?
this
I
nice.
know.
I know. And then after like a couple months, I'm like, fuck, she's actually
I
this
know.
nice. Like,
I know. So it's true though. I was like, I've had a set where it just wasn't tolerated. So like but things get out of control sometimes, right? You just never know. So I've been so spoiled with my number ones. Yeah.
Well, so let's speak about our number one, Melanie Scrofano. You both went toe-to-toe with her in your episodes. Can you share some fun Mel stories? I'm sure because you guys have worked together, Charlotte.
I feel like you can share some really fun Mel stories. Are you allowed?
I know. What do you want to know? She's one of my. I wish I got to see her more regularly. That's the truth. Is that
How did you meet?
we did a film together, and it was all boys, and she was
Was
the
it in Sault
only
Ste. Marie?
other. Yeah, she was the only other girl, and so she and I would just go to the dollar store. We'd make videos.
Wild times.
It was like real crazy, and we would go to literally the makeup counter and we did shit, and then we would get massaged and like put coins in
the makeup counter?
No, like the chairs.
I need to go to this makeup counter.
This is stupid. Like, you know the chairs that you put coins in, and so we were just like, the whole town just like shut off at 5.
Oh, yeah.
And we had lots of days off, and so she and I got to know each other quite well. I've already told a few of you this, that she filmed me without my consent.
Oh no.
Okay. It was a reaction video.
To what?
To watching a guy hurt his bum. And
Did he slip on the ice?
no, he did not, and I want that video back. So she has more incriminating stuff on me, to be perfectly honest. But I met her on that movie. That movie was not normal. It was like the most beautiful. Like I really fell in love with her on that film. And even though I don't get to see her all like often, and I don't love that because we don't live in the same country, she's not changed one second. And I always say, particularly with this fandom, she was the right vessel for this. Because you can have like, there's so many actors that don't want to do this. They're too cool for it. They're like, I don't want to do that kind of shit. And she is she's the right person for this. Truly, it gives me goosebumps.
Yeah.
It's not just because I'm cold.
It could be both. It could be both.
But yeah, I felt pretty hard.
Yeah, she's just like that. The first minute I met her, and even here, like, I haven't seen her in such a long time. She comes into the room. This is essentially her convention. I was in one episode of her show, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see you." And it's I think people for whom you leave their company feeling better about who you are the most special people, and she's one of those people.
So well put. Yeah, it's so true. Yeah. Well put.
Well, I wish we had more time because I feel like we could keep going. I just want to thank you each for making this the easiest job in the world. This has been so much fun. Can we please get a big Earp round of applause for Emily, Rachel, and Charlotte.
And to Kat Crimins. Let's give it up. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Go get some lunch. Everybody get some lunch. The mom and me. Yeah.